My name's Liam. I was introduced to Gordon Moody 2.5 years ago. Quite often people talk about people and organisations saving lives, but for the period of time that followed that, Gordon Moody were instrumental in saving my life. People often ask, what was my first introduction to gambling, how old it was, but the reality is I can't really remember. I've been gambling all my life. It took over where I couldn't really see it ending, but if I'm honest with you, I couldn't even see the beginning. Gambling had taken everything off me. It had taken my money, it had taken my relationships. It had started to break everything down, but most importantly, it had taken time away from me, time that I'll never get back with individuals that I love. But when you talk about when did I first realise, I didn't realise until I started gambling with anything I could find. Not gambling with money anymore. I was gambling with my emotions. I got to a point where I had no money left, and I was gambling with my own life. Really, I had to choose either to carry on the path that I was on, that unfortunately was going to lead to a sad time for a lot of people around me, or I turn a corner and I reach out to Gordon Moody, who put an arm around me and put me on the right path to start living my life for the first time in many years. Opening up was the toughest thing. The first person I had to open up with was myself, and that was tough. And then one by one, family and friends began to listen. And as hard as it was and the stigma that's attached to it, people listened and people understood, and people were there to help and support. I remember one day I was sat at home, and as I said before, gambling had taken everything off me. It started to take time off me, and my whole life had become a blur, really. I had everything on paper. I had the perfect job, the perfect family, everything that anyone could ever want. But reality was, in my own mind, I was the loneliest person on the planet. And the only friend I had was gambling. And when I realised that gambling was no friend, I needed to reach out and get some help. I found out about Gordon Moody through an online chat. I was chatting away and saying I want to go away and come back a better person, but I know that's not possible. And there was a couple of questions asked. Was, do any of your family and friends know? And the answer was no one knew. And the next question that was asked was, have you ever heard of Gordon Moody? And at the time it was no, but it was the best introduction that anyone could ever give me. I'm not anti-gambling. I think gambling can be an enjoyable pastime if it's done in moderation with the right mindset is probably the right word to use. Me personally, I know that I'll be in recovery for the rest of my life, but hopefully the experience that I've had and the experiences that I've gone through can help others that are struggling with gambling reach out and get help. I think as it stands today, there's a huge stigma with gambling. I think people that don't understand addiction or gambling to a certain degree will basically just say stop. And a lot of the time it's, you've got everything. Why would you gamble? You've got the world at your feet. I think the message would be, if it was that easy, many people like myself wouldn't be sat in this chair today. Everything is there so that it's not easy to stop. And I suppose the stigma that we talk about is reach out, because once you've broken through the seal of chatting to people, you'll realise maybe the stigma's not as bad as you thought it was, and there's a lot of good people out there. I spoke earlier about Gordon Moody saving my life. Gordon Moody was instrumental, but it wasn't just Gordon Moody, in inverted commas, that saved my life. You're here with a bunch of like-minded people that understand you, that get you, that when you say, do you know what, I was triggered because of X, Y, or Z, they go, so was I. You know, never once throughout Gordon Moody did I feel that no one understood me, no one got me, and that no one could help me. All the time, every single time, there was always someone there that understood me and could show me the right path to help me. I quite often get asked, you know, if somebody was struggling, what advice would I give them? And for me, the best advice I can give you is reach out. You know, you're not alone. You won't be the first person that's ever struggled with gambling addiction, and unfortunately you won't be the last. But you can get your life back on track. You can feel alive again. And starting tomorrow, you can be a totally different person, the person that you want to be. My name's Liam. There's a story behind the bet, and this was my story.